I want to share with you, we've got a unique and interesting guest with us today, a fellow that I have actually known in the real estate industry for a number of years. And interestingly enough, he was just on the cover of Real Estate Success magazine here in the greater Las Vegas area. And I'd like to welcome Mr. Tom Blanchard. Tom, welcome to the show.
Thank you, JC. It's good to be here.
Well, I'm really pleased and excited to have you here on the show, Tom, because most of the people, as you know, that watch this show on a regular basis are licensed real estate agents. And granted, we have a number of investors and buyers and sellers that also watch the show. And you specialize in these REO properties.
Yes.
So, Tom, tell us, because obviously we've got a flood of REOs. How many REOs are you handling right now?
Right now, we have a little over 500 that we're handling.
Wow. So, is that 500 listed or in different phases? How does that work?
Actually, we have 200 properties that are currently in the MLS listed. The remainder of those are split between being in escrow and or pre-listed, waiting for the pricing to come through or an eviction to go through or happen.
And one of the concerns that I think the sellers in the industry, as well as the agents have, is that there could come a time when there's a flood of REOs, because you said you're handling 500, and it sounds like 200 or 300 of those are in the pre-listing stage. Can you kind of explain to our audience, are the banks holding some back? What's going on there?
Well, it's not that the banks are holding anything back. It's just the process sort of makes it so they trickle in. You know, it takes a 6 to 9 month period after somebody's not made their first payment for the process to go through in Nevada. So anything that maybe has not been, the first NOD has been filed now, we're talking 6 to 9 months from now before it comes to somebody like me. And even then, when the values were good, people were buying these properties at auction at the courthouse steps. Only the ones that had no equity in them were the ones that came to me. And we really haven't seen the most foreclosures yet. They're still to come. In October, we have twice as many resets nationwide than we have in any month so far.
Yeah, you know what, Tom? That is the part that is scaring me.
2009 is going to be a very, very difficult year.
You're scaring me.
I should.
So tell me about that. It's
going to be a serious issue.
More serious than it is now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right now is the crest, is the wave coming on. We're not going to use some of the news that's nationally in Iowa with the lakes and the levees flooding and everything else. Our floodwaters haven't reached the height that they're going to reach until probably mid-2009. Add to that an election year where our economy is usually sort of taking a hit for a first-year presidential person, for the first-year presidency, I should say. There's just like a perfect storm, if you will, coming along in the REO market.
You're using a lot of cliches. The dice are overflowing, a perfect storm. I think that's a recent movie. You've got this together. How many files are they handling, Tom?
A normal asset manager handles approximately 200 properties, and some are client-specific, like they handle all of Citibank's.
I see.
Or some are state-specific, where they handle all of Nevada and the client, you know, the multitude of different clients. It just depends on how their company's set up. The biggest problem that we have with communication back and forth is that the clients, usually Wall Street types,
sure,
set parameters on to the property, and the asset managers have to perform under those certain parameters. You know, they have to price it at 10% of the market value at the beginning, and then after 30 days they have an automatic price reduction. After every other 30 days they have another automatic price reduction.
Right. And these parameters are different from bank to bank or client to client.
Absolutely.
So there's no way that we get to figure this out.
I wish there was. Now, I can't even figure it out.
Okay. Can I ask how many different banks or clients do you represent?
It's easier for me to say which banks I don't represent than it is for the banks that I do. I don't handle Countrywide, B of A, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. The rest of them are all up for grabs due to the fact of the different companies that I work for and the asset management companies that go after all this business. and then divvy out the property. You really got to just keep putting your name out there, whether it's doing BPOs, which we're not supposed to be doing according to the division, and I'll...
By the way, I saw an article. We'll come back to that because you wrote
one of my scathing articles.
Well, I don't want to say it's a scathing article, but you wrote a great article in this magazine, and I would suggest to the viewers, if you haven't picked up Volume 4, Issue 5, and this just came out about a week ago, of a Real Estate Success magazine right here in town, the featured story on the cover of this magazine is little Tommy Blanchard and his son. And you got your son on the front cover as well. And you two look like a pair to draw to, and they're standing in front of the Las Vegas Strip. So it's a great, first of all, it's a great story on you and your family and your business. And then there's another article that you've written in there on the whole BPO crisis that I would say is must read. So let me just remind the viewers right now, if you're watching this, because I don't think I said it at the start of the show, I was so excited about you being on the show. When I said this is Real Estate Live, we are on realestatelive.tv, and a new show comes out at 6 p.m. every Tuesday evening. It's available all over the world, wherever there's internet access. And then that show, this is that show for the 24th of June, then that show is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week until we broadcast live the new show next week. So if you're seeing this and you're getting some good information, there's a new show that's put up every Tuesday evening at 6 o'clock. Let's come back to you, Tom, with just another question or two about this whole REO thing. So you say we are yet to see the biggest slam, and that's probably going to come around the middle of 2009.
Correct. The inventory percentage is going to change. It's going to increase more REOs, obviously, on the market than non-REOs.
I say if you don't have to sell a home, don't. If you want to buy up and you can afford to keep your home as a rental, do it.
Exactly.
And
well,
keep
I'm doing that right now.
Keep your home for 2 or 3 years, okay,
Yep.
and then buy up. If you have to sell your home, if you have to sell it, then there's really no choice. You've got to sell it. You're in competition, though.
With the REOs.
The REOs.
Absolutely. And you have to understand that, price it accordingly, and understand that even though you may be taking a hit on the house that you're selling right now,
Right.
you're really doing a lateral move, because all the homes that you are maybe going to purchase are also downtrodden. You know, the prices are down. So it's really still a lateral move. Only if you go out of the system do you really see the kibosh.
The hurt.
Yeah. And let me caution some of the agents out there that maybe have clients that have a house that they're underwater with right now, upside down on.
Sure.
That are going out and purchasing another house just to let the house that they currently have right now go in foreclosure.
Yeah.
That's a big thing, and it's not illegal.
But we're
Maybe
seeing that happen more and more, aren't we?
Maybe, yeah. It may be not the most ethical thing in the world to do.
Right.
And there will be some rules placed, I'm sure, in the lending community on the fact that if you do have a property and it is upside down, they're not going to give you another loan on any kind of house. If right now, if you're not in the REO field, then you really need to be a buyer agent.
Okay, sure.
You know,
well, if you're not in the REO field and 71% of the properties are either REOs or short sales, either get in the game,
right,
or redefine your game.
Correct.
Right. So here's what we've got. If you're a seller in this market and you don't have to sell, don't.
Correct.
If you want to make a lateral move, it's not a bad thing to sell low and buy low.
Right.
Okay. Tom Blanchard, a friend of mine for many years, and one of the top REO experts in all of Nevada, in fact, on the West Coast. And Tom, I'd like to thank you for coming and doing the show tonight.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Anytime. Thank you.
That's a wrap. Thank you.